Hello, my friends. Today's date is March the 24th, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a 4 card pull to cover the year to follow. General energy card, something that might sustain through the year or something that might chop it open for you to look at. Then there's a particular challenge you might face, and then there is an action you can take to stay balanced, and an outcome or a synopsis card. The general energy card for this year is the King. And what does the king ask you to reflect upon? Well, the king, the boss, the ruler, uh, you've built some kind of realm. You built some kind of kingdom. Now, you might be a man or a woman, but you've built some kind of quote kingdom, some kind of thing that you are at the top of and you run. And the question always becomes for the king: are you a benevolent king or are you a petty king? I mean, let's get to the facts. It's like, are you doing this to serve yourself, and do you only listen to yourself, and do you only go about what you think is right, or do you have a place for others to work alongside you, with you, and to be buoyed by you? The benevolent king, sees everybody as an asset, sees everything as an asset, wants to bring out the best in everyone, wants to serve the whole of community and not just themselves or a limited group of beings. So this is always the question the king asks. Uh, what what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Is it serving me? Is it serving something bigger? And what is my legacy? The king, is kind of almost the end of the line. King often signifies in tarot that something is about to change and there needs to be a new focus. Now, the king can either hunker down with what he's already created and just sit in the good vibes, but he's going to feel empty and he's going to feel apathetic and he's going to feel tired of that. So, what does the king then pursue again? What is the next step for the king? So, what is the legacy then that the king wants to leave behind? And that is really the powerful question, I think, that sits underneath the king. What is the legacy you want to be known by? Do you want to be known as someone who benefited the realm and society and the whole of humanity, or just someone who benefited themselves and a limited few and made everybody else suffer in the process? I mean, it's all choice. We do this in limited ways. We do it in big ways. We all have to learn about being rulers and kings and bosses and learn about whether we are tyrants for ourselves or whether we're open and judicious for everyone around us. So what is there it is. What is the challenge that you face is the Ace of Swords. The challenge, Ace of Swords, is about, I think, stepping fully into your knowledge. Swords are wisdom, swords are information, swords are communication, swords are air, swords are truth, swords are intelligence and clarity and understanding. So, and the ace is kind of the epitome of that. So, stepping into that place, your challenge is to step into a place of knowing, to show what you know, to tell what you know, to share what you know, to bring forth your own clarity. Maybe you don't believe your own clarity. Maybe you do believe your own clarity, but you don't know how to step forward with it in a very challenging place where, are you the king or is somebody else the king? That's the other question of kingdom. Is someone else in charge of you, and you don't feel allowed to be your own voice. You don't feel allowed to have your own say, to have your own words, to have your own enlightenment, and you might have to kowtow to someone who is a king, who is higher than you, is a ruler who doesn't really either respects you or doesn't respect you, hears you or doesn't hear you. So this is all about how you use your own power of words, and there's a challenge to it this year for whatever reason, an internal challenge or an external challenge, or something that's stopping you. And swords, are often again about the head. So sometimes the Ace of Swords in an upright or challenging position says, "My head is too busy and I can't figure out what I need to say or what I need to do," especially up against these external influences and challenges that are coming through. So the action that it says to take is the lizard, and the lizard is a lot about dreaming. You know, I love the sense of the dreaming, the beautiful story of the snake that came upon the lizard, and um, the lizard, you know, basking in the sun, said, "Hey, come on up here, snake. It's okay. Come on up here." No, no, no. That's not how the story goes. The lizard had his eyes closed, and Snake approaches, and Lizard opens his eyes, and Snake says, "Oh, you're not running. Why aren't you running?" And Lizard said, "Because I dreamed you, Lizard. You were in my dream, and Snake, I saw that you ate a mouse, and that you were no longer hungry, so I knew that you could come and lay down beside me and you wouldn't bother me and we could be mutually coexistent, but I dreamed you, Snake." And so this is about dreaming. This is about going into those other realms out of your head, you know, those visionary parts of yourself. You have to do some things that are more about your dreaming and your visioning and your meditation and your quieting of your mind so that you can really hear more of your soul calling. And I think the soul calling is really the important part of this. The what you wish to create is part of dreaming, is part of imagining something new and different, something possible that could be brought down from realms that no one has thought about before or no one has approached before. Uh, and it's also the awareness of what needs to be done in the face of things that might encounter that are challenging to it, like the snake. You know, a snake is going to eat me. You don't invite it up into your lair. If a boss is going to overtake me, you don't invite him into your company. You know, it's just a lot of choices like that. But your clarity comes from your clarity. The Ace of Swords of how to speak comes from your ability to go deeply into your dreaming, into your visioning, into your understanding of what is actually happening and not just the projections of yourself. So, in this way, the king becomes a more well rounded king that is not just using his mind or her mind to go forward, but also using his or her intuitions and emotions and visioning qualities that are the emergence of mind, of intuition, and analysis, of intelligence and feeling. So you need both of those realms in order to become a balanced person who can give help. This is the final card. I love this card. This person's white face lit by the light. Underneath that person are waves and shadows and darkness and swirls, and there's one hand reaching up, asking for help or giving help. Who knows? I think this is both your sense of you. You know, it's the sense of you can ask for help if you need it in this case, or you can give help if someone else needs help to you, and it's the clarity that comes from. Swimming in troubling waters and swimming in tight spaces and you know and being uh, held down and buffered about on some levels, but there's a hope in the face, there's a joy in the face, there's a truth in the face, there's a truth in the face. That's what I see. And the king, I think, needs to have the truth. The king needs to see the truth on the deepest of levels to really understand what is happening, and that thereby you need both your intellect and your intuition, and you need to find a way to dream your life and feel your life as much as you need to find the ways to speak your life and create your life from that analysis point of view. Analysis and intuition, they become the blend of the highest power of kingdomship, of creationship. So there it is. Blessed be. Ao Matakuyasu.